Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share and play. Hi everyone. I've been asked a few times and I keep telling you that I'll measure it, but how big my junk journal is. So it is roughly 12 inches or about 30 centimetres, 31.5 centimetres by, this ruler's too big, by almost 6, but about 5.5, which is, what's that? Oh, hang on. The centimetres goes the other way. So, yeah, about just 31 centimetres long and 12 inches, and then wide. Can you see why I never give you measurements because I'm hopeless at measuring? So 5.5 to 6 inches wide by about, what's that? 14 centimetres wide, almost 15 centimetres wide. So there you go. That's the dimensions. And look, we're starting to get a bit thick. So we're looking at about almost 2 inches, but 1.5 centimetres thick. So you know that is, where are we? That's about 5 centimetres wide. So, getting there. But yeah, looking nice and chunky. Anyway, welcome back. Junk Journal January. Hang on, which day are we up to? I got this upside down. Yes, I have. So let me just grab my little cheat sheet. Today is Whimsical, so day 17. Today for Whimsical, I'm just going to have a go at doing a bit of a whimsical type face. If I can find my pen, I can. There it is. What am I going to use? Water and Copic Proof pigment ink, so that one will work. So I'm not going to do a whole face. I'm just going to do it a bit Tamara Laporte style, and I'm going to do a half face. So I'll just put a bit of a nose here. That's how she likes to do her noses, and I quite like that. And then we'll do a bit of an eye here. So I'm just doing little feather strokes and doing a little eye. And in this little eye, I'm going to do the little iris, but I'm going to do it as a flower because, bit of an ode to the whimsy. So there you go. Instead of having a normal eye, she's going to have a flower. So just doing, I'm not being too fussed. I mean, she probably needs a bit of an eyelid and then definitely needs an eyebrow. That's her eyebrow. Mouths, I'm always a bit hopeless doing mouths. So we'll give her a nice big lip. So yeah, she's just going to go off the side of the page. Do a bit of a face edge, and for this one we're going to do flowy hair. We'll have a bit of an earlobe coming out here. I like to do some kind of a, dangly earring. So as you can see, not very accurate, just going fast, not worrying about where the hair goes. She can have a little bit of a shoulder. So there she is. I just want to, I really like, again, I got this off Tamara Laporte. She does all these really free flow and then she adds lots of colour, which you'll see in just a sec. And it all just seems to work in the end. So because I'm not drawing a real face, it just makes it easier. We're just going to do a bit of a butterfly here on the side of her face. And I can always forget how I do my little, there you go, it's sort of a butterfly. And we'll put a few other doodles around afterwards. So the first thing I'm doing is getting my spray bottle. I'm going to spray my page so that it's a bit wet as well. Oops, that's supposed to be waterproof. There you go. Not very waterproof. Oh, well, that'll just add to it. I don't often use orange, so let's just do really bright colours. And okay. Definitely want a proper brush for this, bigger brush for this, because I really want it to just flow. Now, I'm not staying in the lines. I am just throwing colour down, and I'm going really bright colours for this one. And let's go really clashy. Bit of that blue. I just want really bright, vivid colours, and it's really hard to do, but I don't want to stay in the lines. When you first do this, it's so hard not to stay in the actual lines, but, you know, I might give it a little bit of an impression. So that's all I'm going to do with that. To speed it up, I will just dry it off. So I'll just pause you. We're back. So I've dried that off, and I've dried my mat. Now I'm using my pencils over the top of the watercolour. I love this. Okay, it's not over the top of the watercolour yet, but it's going to be. See? Just adding a little bit of extra texture into it. And that's not exactly working out how I want it to, but that's all right. We'll just see what happens in the end, hey? Here we go. Let's do her little flowers in her eye, and let's just add a little bit of shadow. Let's put that up there so I stop rattling it. Those blending thingy bobs, paper stubs. So you can actually just roll up your own paper. You don't need a special bought one like this is, but they're quite good to just, you know, if you feel it's a bit of a too hard line, you can put that into it. Let's go. If I got a light green, gosh, I need to sharpen all of these again. Okay, I want to just add some green down here, I think. There we are. Let's add a little bit more green in her hair. So I'm just going lightly. Remember, this is whimsy, so, you know, it's not meant to be, well, for me, you know, it's not meant to be realistic. Okay, I'll just do that little butterfly and going over my coloured pencil. Get my Stabilo. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow. I do actually want some ruby red lips, hey? Do a little bit of red there, a little bit more red there. There we go. Now she's got her ruby red lips. Crash, bang, crash. And I'm going to add a bit more shadow here under the chin. A bit more shadow here to the shoulder. And just ever so slightly, a few shadows through the hair. It should be enough. Where's her earlobe? There. Okay, so we'll just add a bit more shadow there too. Now I'll grab this brush that I was using earlier, and I'll just use that. So wishy-washy. Oh, I like how that's kind of showing up brown, you know? Oh, speaking of brown, goodness me, I do want every single thing in Tim Holtz. I know some people are really anti, and I know he's really expensive, but he just does beautiful products. So I saw the launch of the last colour. I was a bit disappointed that, you know, the last colour in the colour palette. I thought he would just keep going forever. But, oh, I love it. What was it called? Scorched Timber. That's right. Remember that, Tim for Timothy? Timber, Tim Holtz, yeah, haha. So, yeah, I really want that colour because I am a massive brown fan. I do love browns. So, which you wouldn't know right now, would you, is what I'm doing here. So, I'm just adding more and more shadow because somehow that seems to be working. And, I don't know, when I get stuck, I just go more black. You know, I just add more black. So let's see how that goes. There we go. So we'll just add a load of black, and that'll just lift what's around it off the page. There we go. Where else can we add a lot more black? There we go. Very hard to talk when I'm painting or creating because I'm nowhere near an artist by any stretch or means of, any whimsical turn of the imagination. But I love drawing and I love painting. So I don't really care if I'm good at it or not. I just play. And I think it helps when you do that because it helps find that when you're a kid, you don't worry about what you're drawing. You don't worry about how anything, is going to turn out or that sort of thing. You just go for it. Alrighty, and we're switching over to voiceover with a noisy house again. So all I'm doing now is I'm just adding some detail and I'm speeding up the rest of it here for you. You would have been here for an hour otherwise. And, look, nothing wrong with an hour. I love watching other people's hour-long videos. I hate waiting for them to upload. So it's not just because I'm trying to save you from having to deal with having me, talking at you for so long. It's also because I'm impatient in my art and craft and I'm impatient in my uploading YouTube videos. There you go. I've confessed now. I've told you. All right. So as I said, just adding more doodles around and just playing about a bit with, the fine liner. Adding a few more shadows, adding a few more little lines and marks, adding a few more shapes, just, filling it all out a little bit more. Again, this is just whimsy. So, it really is just playing. As I said, I think that we don't play enough. I think that when we're creating, we're always trying to create for a purpose, even though we don't realise it. Adding some more hatch lines, some more lines for shadow in the background and adding a bit more black up the top there, with the stabilo and the pen underneath. And so it all layers up. Now, she is starting to come together now. I mean, she's, a bit all out of proportion, but she's kooky enough. She looks good. I'm kooky. She matches me. It's all good. But yeah, I think that when we're creating, we're always trying to create something. We're thinking about the result. We're not enjoying the process. So that's why I kind of like this stuff. You kind of sit back, you see a little corner, you want to add something, or you see something in the paint, that looks like a bird, and we'll draw a bird, especially if you don't know how to draw a bird. If you're seeing it in the paint, just do it and see what happens. So yeah, that's why I love this style. And I really love the Tamara Laporte splashing the colour and not really doing it in the lines, just letting it go across lines. And it's amazing how it actually works out in the end. So where are we up to? Oh, adding more little doodles. Now, these were just some little long loopy bits. However, they worked at her chin, and then I added some little more squares on her neckline there. She's got a few problems, this poor girl. She's even got tattoos on her hair and, I think she looks freeform. A friend of mine, she's an artist and she always runs a goddess workshop, and I always think of these faces, these women's faces with the free-flowing hair. They kind of remind me of that sort of ilk of thing. So here, just going back in with some pencils, adding a bit of colour to the flowers, adding some shadow. It's kind of weird because red can kind of be a highlight and a shadow. Yellow I find is normally a highlight. Purple works really well as a shadow. All right, so next, stamping. This is just what I like to add to mine. I find if I throw some stamps over, it feels good.
these are really good too if you collage some papers into them. So I've collaged like book page and stuff into these before, so that's quite fun. Yeah. All right, so what have we got? We've got some clocks, using a bit of blocking there. And this stencil seemed to bring it together. I just did vintage photo. I hadn't used it yet. And that sort of seemed to just bring it together over that part of her hair. And then I did just a few vintage photo stamps in the background. Now I'm adding some contrast just with a Sharpie. Sharpies are fabulous, aren't they? So just adding contrast by really getting some more black in there. And to be honest, I could even go a lot more. Who knows? I might go back to her later and add even more. But adding black, I think, it often solves a lot of what you're doing. Oh, sorry, that was the brush pen I was using. I told you a big fib. Yeah, that was the brush pen I was using and it was running out, so I ended up changing over to the Sharpie. There you go. Now you're getting some black lines in it. So that really brings up the contrast, it makes the eye pop a little bit because I'm really keeping the inside of that eye pretty clear. I've played with the flower, but not much else. So, I don't know. It's just a bit of fun. And there it is in my book, all finished. I found that I didn't want her right on the edge of a page. I wanted her a bit in. Oh, now that is the journal card. Remember the journal card digis that I showed you how to do on Canva? So there's one of them that I've used in a page. I love this page where I've used the lace as a bit of a cutout. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Take care. Sorry it's a little bit longer today, but, I had to draw a kind of picture, a spooky, crazy girl. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Oh, tomorrow. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.